The Maple Flooring Manufacturers Association, MFMA, is the authoritative source of technical and general information about maple flooring and related maple and synthetic sports flooring systems. MFMA's membership consists of manufacturers, sport floor contractors, distributors, and allied product manufacturers who subscribe to established quality guidelines. Through cooperative member programs, MFMA establishes product quality, performance, and installation guidelines, educates end users about safety, performance, and maintenance issues, and promotes the use of maple flooring products worldwide. In addition, MFMA encourages the use of synthetic flooring through promotion. Providing architects with information on quality synthetic flooring products stimulates the intelligent and economical use of synthetic floor systems and leads to improvements in the sports flooring industry by making the use of synthetic floor systems a viable option for athletic applications. MFMA consults with architects, contractors, school officials, and maintenance personnel to answer questions about the specification, use, and care of MFMA sports flooring. Sports flooring differs immensely from floors designed for any other purpose. Because the needs of athletes come first, performance, safety, and comfort are inherent characteristics. Floor design can focus on a specific activity, say aerobics versus basketball, or on multiple purposes to suit the exact need of a facility or application. Also, can the floor meet the specific needs of the users? Will the floor be put in an elementary school where gym class, lunch, a stage, and adult basketball at night all use the same floor? Or will the floor be used by amateur athletes or by professionals who require the top level of performance by the sports surface? Also, is a synthetic floor an option, or will you be installing a maple, beech, or birch sports floor? Time and time again, athletes, performers, coaches, trainers, owners, and architects who design floors cite maple as their preferred sports surface. Northern hard maple has been called nature's perfect flooring surface. MFMA maple is produced from trees grown north of the 35th parallel, where shorter growing seasons produce maple with closer, more uniform grain. In a floor, northern hard maple exhibits flexibility, resilience, durability, finishability, and low demand maintenance. Northern hard maple also has LEED and green benefits available. Northern hard maple was first used in sports flooring nearly 135 years ago. From the beginning, it was evident, however, that even nature's perfect flooring needed a little help if consistently outstanding floors were to be built. Consistent quality became the mission of a handful of producers who in 1897 formed the Maple Flooring Manufacturers Association, MFMA. Their purpose was to research and develop the best procedures for the selection and grading of the wood. Over time, a set of strict self-imposed manufacturing standards evolved for members which they adopted in pursuit of consistent quality. The association established itself as the authoritative source of technical and general information on sports flooring. MFMA's focus on sports flooring has allowed the organization to evolve into an authority of all types of sport flooring. MFMA now provides architects, specifiers, and end users information on synthetic sports surfaces, which our members have been installing since the 1960s. To top it all off, the MFMA publishes a list of tested and recommended floor finishes which are designed to optimize athletic performance while enhancing the legendary durability of the maple playing surface. When considering which flooring system is best suited for your installation, it is important to consider different attributes of each system. Always consider the following characteristics: cost, appearance, elevation requirements, and end users for the facility and performance characteristics of the floor. Cost should be viewed in two ways: installed cost and life cycle cost. If compared solely by initial installed cost, wood athletic flooring may be more expensive than synthetic materials. However, wood athletic flooring systems last longer than synthetic flooring. The installed cost of maple floors varies from manufacturer to manufacturer depending on the subfloor system selected for the project and the quality and type of surface maple specified for the installation. Most subfloor designs can be matched with a variety of maple surface materials to meet your project's budget. Appearance is a subjective specifying consideration. All maple floors will have different aesthetics based on the type of flooring specified: strip, finger-jointed strip, or parquet. The MFMA grade of flooring specified: first, second and better, third and better, and third. The selection of game line paints and color schemes, and the type of finish you specify. Your client may desire a basketball court that looks like a parquet pattern floor, or may want the look of a strip floor. When specifying maple sports flooring, be sure to ask the client what he or she expects the flooring to look like when installed. This will help you recommend the appropriate maple surfacing materials, as well as properly choose paints and finishes to give your project the desired finished appearance. Remember, maple floor grades affect aesthetics, not performance. When selecting a sports floor, you'll need to consider where the floor is being installed. Will it be located in a hot and humid area, or close to an ocean? Will the facility be equipped with an HVAC system that controls temperature? And if so, what type of system will be used in the space? Will it be a fan-forced air system, or radiant, or geothermal? The answers to these questions will allow you to specify the best option for a sports floor. The location, environment, and equipment are all important, but if the flooring is acclimated and installed with proper expansion, it can be installed nearly anywhere. This is an extremely important specifying consideration on a retrofit project. Some subfloor designs are low profile, while others are higher profile. Be advised, sports flooring system profiles are not necessarily an indication of surface performance characteristics. Manufacturers can provide you with slab depression requirements for all of their subfloor systems. When specifying sports flooring in a new installation, consult with your manufacturer to obtain the proper slab depression measurements for the systems you are considering for the project. Within the last 20 years, there has been a movement within the industry to quantify performance characteristics that best define a good sports floor. As a result, our industry has hundreds of different sports flooring systems, each with varying levels of performance. Within this range of system options, there are some common performance characteristics that the industry has recognized as being most desired and important. MFMA's Performance and Uniformity Rating, or PURE standards, focus on shock absorption, vertical deflection, area of deflection, ball bounce, and surface friction. These standards have been designed utilizing exacting testing methodologies to ensure that customers receive a reliable, well-performing, competitive sports surface. No one knows more about how a good sports floor should perform and how it should be installed than MFMA members. As an organization representing the worldwide sports flooring industry, our goal is to balance technical standards with practical flooring system design in order to create uniform standards of performance for competition sports floors. When a specific flooring system is a MFMA PURE compliant floor, it is understood that testing is on a strict pass-fail evaluation. In order to minimize confusion that exists around floor testing, the MFMA will only allow the use of the term compliant as it pertains to its PURE testing. Either a floor is compliant and passes the standards or it does not. Like all performance standards, there are trade-offs between individual standards depending on the intended use. Carefully selected criteria will help you choose the characteristics that are most appropriate for the activities being performed on your floor. Shock absorption measures the flooring system's ability to absorb impact forces generated by the athlete. As an athlete impacts a sports surface, the impacting force is translated into two resultant forces, one absorbed by the floor and the other absorbed by the athlete. While hard surfaces such as concrete and asphalt provide little or no force reduction for the athlete upon impact due to running, jumping, or falling, MFMA sports floor systems absorb these impact forces, shock, and are rated by the percentage of force reduction they provide as compared to hard surfaces. In general, and this is just an example for illustration, a sports floor with a force reduction value of 50% will absorb 50% of the impact force, and the remaining 50% is absorbed by the athlete. Vertical deflection measures the floor system's downward movement during the impact of an athlete landing on the surface. This characteristic is the measure of the floor system's ability to provide vertical displacement at the point of impact. For example, a person jumping on a concrete floor would result in 0 vertical deflection, while that same person jumping on a trampoline would create a vertical deflection of many inches. Area of deflection measures the floor system's ability to contain the deflected area under an athlete's impact, measured at 20 inches or 500 millimeters from the point of impact. Area of deflection is based on the relationship between vertical deflection at the point of impact and the deflection at 20 inches or 500 millimeters. A person jumping on a trampoline, for example, creates a very wide area of deflection. Someone jumping on sand creates a very limited area of deflection. Basketball rebound measures the basketball's rebound response off the sports floor system as compared to the ball's rebound response off concrete. At 100% rebound, the basketball returns to a height equal to its rebound off concrete. Obviously, ball bounce may not apply to all sports activities. Surface friction measures an athletic flooring finish's ability to control the sliding of athletes on a sports surface. The surface friction must be low enough to permit sliding when a large amount of horizontal force is applied to the floor surface, and high enough to prevent uncontrollable sliding. Surface friction is a function of the specified floor finish. Most synthetic floors use a different standard for performance due to their point elastic properties. DIN and EN testing protocols are most commonly referenced. Depending on the activity, some synthetic surfaces provide better performance characteristics than others. For example, vulcanized sheet rubber synthetic floors can have a very high coefficient of friction, which is good for competition track, tennis, and soccer. Sheet rubber floors have lower force reduction as a rule. However, this changes with thickness of the product. Pad and pour polyurethane synthetic floors have a coefficient of friction similar to a maple floor. However, the force reduction varies with pad thickness. Vinyl synthetic floors have a coefficient of friction that varies based on manufacturer's finish coat, factory or field applied, and can change over time. Force reduction varies as well with pad thickness. These performance characteristics should be considered when specifying a synthetic floor for general use, but their importance varies depending on the main activity that is going to utilize the surface. Shock absorption measures the flooring system's ability to absorb impact forces generated by the athlete. As an athlete impacts a synthetic sports surface, the impacting force is translated into 2 resultant forces, one absorbed by the floor and the other absorbed by the athlete. While hard surfaces such as concrete and asphalt provide little or no force reduction for the athlete upon impact due to running, jumping, or falling, MFMA synthetic sports floor systems absorb these impact forces, shock, and are rated by the percentage of force reduction they provide as compared to hard surfaces. Vertical deflection measures the floor system's downward movement during the impact of an athlete landing on the surface. This characteristic is the measure of the floor system's ability to provide vertical displacement at the point of impact. Basketball rebound measures the basketball's rebound response off the synthetic sports floor system as compared to the ball's rebound response off concrete. At 100% rebound, the basketball returns to a height equal to its rebound off concrete. Obviously, ball bounce may not apply to all sports activities. Surface friction measures a synthetic flooring surface's ability to control the sliding of athletes. The surface friction must be low enough to permit sliding when a large amount of horizontal force is applied to the synthetic floor surface, and high enough to prevent uncontrollable sliding. Resistance to rolling load, impacts, and indentations should also be considered. For example, wheels from bleachers or portable backstops, or activities that are performed that could result in temporary impacts such as dropped weights or point loads from folding tables and chairs. Northern hard maple flooring is one of the predominant surface materials selected for indoor athletic facilities worldwide. Why? Northern hard maple, Acer saccharum, is dense, strong, supremely durable, and remarkably hard. Maple is 12% harder than red oak. Due to the shorter growing seasons north of the 35th parallel, northern hard maple is close-grained, hard-fibered, and resistant to slivering and splintering, and polishes well under friction. Northern hard maple has an unusual ability to resist pointed pressure without abrasion. It is easily covered with attractive finishes. Northern hard maple flooring has a natural beauty. The natural light color is more visually pleasing to athletes compared to darker hardwoods. Northern hard maple is densely grained with rich, consistent color and fewer imperfections than other hardwood species. The natural light color also provides excellent contrast to paint used to mark game lines on the floors for activities such as basketball and volleyball. Northern hard maple is an organic product consisting of patterns of fibers and air pockets which give it a natural shock-absorbing quality. These characteristics, combined with specially designed and engineered subfloor systems, deliver performance and safety for a variety of sporting and activity applications. Northern hard maple flooring is suited for a variety of uses, from residential to institutional. Contrary to what you may have heard, we are not running out of hardwoods. U.S. government forest statistics show that there is 70% more hardwood now than in the 1950s. Each year, nearly twice as many cubic feet of timber is added to the U.S. hardwood forest inventory than is harvested. Further, wood is the only natural resource on Earth that is renewable, recyclable, biodegradable, and reusable. The energy required to grow our timber supply is free. It comes from the sun. And although wood accounts for almost half of the total annual industrial raw material tonnage consumed in the U.S., lumber and wood product manufacturing processes account for only about 4% of energy consumed by U.S. industrial raw material manufacturers. MFMA mill manufacturers are subject to periodic, unannounced third-party inspections to assure strict adherence to MFMA rules governing continually on species, millage, and grade of MFMA products. Since the MFMA was founded in 1897, architects have relied on MFMA's quality assurance when determining what surfaces to specify for their athletic flooring installations. The MFMA grading stamp is every architect's assurance of consistent quality. MFMA manufacturers have spent years testing and developing a host of subfloor systems to meet the needs of athletes and other facility users alike. There are three basic subfloor designs for maple sports floors: floating systems, fixed systems, and anchored resilient systems. Floating systems are exactly what they sound like. They float over the concrete substrate and are not mechanically fastened to the concrete slab in any way. Fixed systems are mechanically fastened with anchor pins, screws, adhesives, etc., directly to the concrete substrate. Anchored resilient systems are mechanically fastened to the concrete substrate, but have a combination of components that allow varying degrees of additional resiliency within the subfloor system. Start your specification decisions by asking questions. Who will be using this floor? What activities will be performed on the surface? How often will the facility be used in an average year? Is the facility going to be subjected to long idle periods? What is the climate in the area of the installation? What types of HVAC systems can I specify for the space? Is the installation below grade, on grade, or above grade? Answers to these and other questions will help you eliminate subfloor designs that are inappropriate for your project. Multiple combinations of steel, wood, composite metal, plastic, neoprene, and rubber are signatures of most anchored resilient subfloor systems. Each MFMA manufacturer member has created its own proprietary menus of combinations from which to choose. Depending on answers to the questions previously cited, your MFMA manufacturer member may recommend one or more anchored resilient subfloor designs that will meet both the needs and design parameters of your project. Anchored resilient subfloor systems combine features of both floating and fixed systems. Each MFMA manufacturer member also offers a variety of proprietary fixed and floating systems that they have developed in some cases for specific applications. Each one has unique features and benefits. Keep in mind that some of these subfloor systems have been designed for particular site conditions or expected uses. For example, below-grade installation, installation in an area of widely varying humidities, use in an aerobics facility, use for modern dance stages, etc. Most proprietary anchored, resilient, fixed, and floating subfloor system designs have evolved over the years from the designs of a number of generic MFMA subfloor systems. Each of these systems have been on the market for many years and have been successfully installed in thousands of facilities worldwide. We refer to them as generic because the basic designs are not patented by one MFMA manufacturer, and each system is generally available from all MFMA manufacturer members. The following is a short description of each of the generic MFMA subfloor designs. This system consists of a resilient pre-engineered fixed panel system with MFMA maple flooring stapled or nailed to the resilient subfloor. This system provides the stability of a traditional fixed system, but with resilient properties similar to a floating system. This system consists of resilient fixed engineered sleepers with a continuous subfloor system with MFMA maple flooring stapled or nailed to the resilient subfloor. This system provides the stability of a traditional fixed system, but with resilient properties similar to a floating system. The cushion sleeper floating floor system consists of sleepers installed over resilient pads supplied by the flooring manufacturer. The pads are mechanically fastened to the bottom of the sleepers and are generally spaced at 1-foot intervals on the sleepers. The sleepers with pads are installed end-to-end at right angles to the direction of the finished maple surface with end joints staggered 24 inches in adjacent rows. Sleepers are spaced between 8 inches and 16 inches on center, depending on the thickness and grade of the maple flooring surface and the resiliency required for the project. The surface maple, sleepers, and pads are installed over a seam-sealed 6 mil polyethylene vapor retarder. The cushion sleeper with plywood floating floor system consists of sleepers installed over resilient pads supplied by the flooring manufacturer. The pads are mechanically fastened to the bottom of the sleepers and are generally spaced at 1-foot intervals on the sleepers. The sleepers with pads are installed end-to-end at right angles to the direction of the finished maple surface with end joints staggered 24 inches in adjacent rows. Sleepers are spaced 12 inches on center, and a layer minimum APA-rated sheathing, or flooring manufacturer's approved rated equivalent, is installed over the sleepers at either a 45 or 90-degree angle to the direction of the finished maple surface. The surface maple, sheathing, sleepers, and pads are installed over a 6 mil polyethylene vapor retarder. This low-profile floating floor system consists of 2 layers of minimum APA-rated sheathing, or flooring manufacturer's approved rated equivalent. The subfloor is generally installed at 45 and 90-degree angles to the direction of the finished maple surface. Resilient pads are mechanically fastened to the underside of the bottom layer of sheathing and are generally spaced at 1-foot intervals, 32 per sheet. The surface maple, subfloor panels, and pads are installed over a 6 mil polyethylene vapor retarder. This system consists of an all-wood subfloor weaved together in a way to provide resilience and stability. It expands and contracts as a unit, reducing the chances of cupping and gapping. This subfloor configuration has increased ventilation capabilities. There are several types of MFMA maple surfacing products from which to choose. Within each type, a number of different grades of flooring are commonly available. Your specifying decision should be based on a number of factors, including cost, appearance, and suitability over your specified subfloor. Many facility owners have a picture in their minds of what the finished floor should look like. It is important to ask questions of your owner before you specify a particular MFMA surface maple product. Questions like, will multiple sports and games be held on the floor? Will the facility be used year-round? Will the facility be used for special events, as a cafeteria or as a community gathering place? Does your owner have certain expectations for the finished appearance of the floor? Answers to these and other questions will help you to determine the appropriate surface material to specify for your project. Once you determine the type of MFMA sports flooring that you wish to specify, you must also determine the grade of MFMA maple flooring product that you wish to be installed on your flooring surface or the synthetic product that you select. Again, remember that the various grades of each type of MFMA maple flooring products primarily affect aesthetics, not performance. MFMA maple flooring comes in 3 basic configurations: random length strip, finger jointed strip, and parquet. Each of these surface materials can be installed in a single direction or can be laid in patterns such as a checkerboard, chevron, etc. Here are basic descriptions of each type of MFMA flooring. Individual pieces of flooring, typically 1.5 inches, 2¼ inches, 2½ inches, or 3¼ inches wide, with lengths between 9 inches and 8 feet. The most common thickness specified is 25 32nd inches, but 33 32nd inches and 1/2 inch thick random length strip flooring is also available. This surface material is installed like a horizontal brick wall, with each piece being overlapped with adjacent pieces and fastened into the subfloor with cleats or staples. A number of random length strip segments join together at the manufacturing plant to form a consistent length board. The most common thickness specified is 25 32nd inches, but 33 32nd inches and 1/2 inch thick finger jointed strip flooring is also available. This surface material is also installed like a horizontal brick wall, with each consistent length board being overlapped with adjacent boards and fastened into the subfloor with cleats or staples. MFMA maple parquet flooring is manufactured in square and rectangular panels in a variety of dimensions. Individual picket widths range from 7/8 inches to 1 1/8 inches, and picket lengths range from 5½ inches to 12 inches. Minimum thickness of MFMA parquet flooring is 5/16 inches. Individual pickets assembled into panels are either joined together by wire, mesh, or tape on the back of the panel, or paper face on the front or surface of the panel. MFMA parquet flooring is typically installed directly to the concrete substrate using adhesive mastic or over subfloor systems that contain continuous subfloors like plywood or similar. MFMA provides these grading rules as a guide to specifiers, architects, end users, and other professionals. Each MFMA mill member is subject to regular, unannounced third-party inspections to assure strict adherence to MFMA rules governing continuity of species, millage, and grading of MFMA maple flooring. One of the MFMA's functions is to assure end users that all finished product is of the highest quality available. Non-MFMA maple manufacturers claim their product matches up to MFMA maple in appearance, but remember that appearance is only skin deep. It's what's behind the product that counts. Strict enforcement of consistent manufacturing, grading, packaging, shipping, and installation standards are the keys to providing a quality product. The MFMA trademark is your assurance that these standards have been met. First grade is the highest standard MFMA grade. It's hand-selected to minimize the natural character variations of the species. Second and better grade is the most commonly specified flooring. This grade exhibits more natural variations than first grade. This grade has the same structural integrity as first and second and better, and exhibits more natural variation than either grade. This grade is ideally suited for the value-engineered application. Another grade of MFMA flooring is MFMA third and better grade flooring. This grade of MFMA maple is comprised of a mixture of all other grades of MFMA northern hard maple. This grade presents a blended variation in color and contrast, which highlights the wood grain to provide unique design options. Changes in the color of lumber supplied to our mill manufacturing members are a result of supply and demand of raw maple lumber. Because wood is a natural product, it is subject to color variations resulting from differing growing conditions. The color of maple heartwood is brownish. The sapwood is much lighter. Consistency of color cannot be controlled in the manufacturing process, and color variation is not a grading defect. All unfinished maple gym floors should be sanded with a minimum of 3 cuts using coarse, medium, and fine sandpapers. Final sanding of pattern floors should be performed with a screen and disc sander. This final sanding should provide a smooth and even surface, free from scratches, drum stop marks, or gouges. After sanding, the contractor should thoroughly vacuum the maple surface with a heavy-duty, commercial-type vacuum to remove sanding dust and grit prior to sealing and finishing. There are two basic methods for application of seal and finish for new wood athletic floors. Both are 4-coat specifications. The first uses 1 coat of seal and 3 coats of finish, a 1-3 specification. And the second uses 2 coats of seal and 2 coats of finish, a 2-2 specification. The number of coats required may change with the use of a water-based urethane product versus an oil-modified urethane product. Always follow your material manufacturer's guidelines for application of sealer and finish, as procedures may vary from product to product. The MFMA has authorized an independent testing laboratory to test floor sealer and finish products in accordance with strict industry standards. Refer to the MFMA Athletic Flooring Sealer and Finish Specifications and Conformance List for information on specifying floor finish products that meet the MFMA standards. All unfinished maple gym floors should be sealed as soon as possible after final sanding is completed. Thoroughly vacuum and tack the floor surface prior to applying the first coat of sealer. Using a clean lamb's wool applicator, apply a liberal and uniform coat of penetrating sealer with at least the minimum coverage per the manufacturer's instructions. Allow to dry completely. If using a 2-2 specification, buff with a screen back disc, pad, or as recommended by your finish manufacturer and thoroughly clean. Do not use steel wool if applying a water-based product. Apply the second coat of penetrating sealer in the same manner as the first. The entire surface should then be lightly machine disked with number 100 or number 120 grit screen back under a buffing or polishing pad, and finally vacuumed and tack ragged in preparation for court layout and painting. Caution: follow your manufacturer's recommendations for providing adequate ventilation during the entire sealing and finishing process. The project architect or specifier should furnish game line drawings with complete color selections prior to the start of floor sanding and finishing. Apply game markings using paint that is compatible with the chosen sealer and finish. Mask and paint game lines with proper colors according to the architect's or specifier's blueprints and with the aid of precision taping machines or striping tools. When using masking tape, pull it up as soon as the paint begins to dry or set. After the game markings have thoroughly dried, lightly abrade using steel wool or a pad recommended by the finish manufacturer, then clean the floor surface. Immediately before applying the first coat of finish, maple gym floors should be thoroughly tack ragged, giving particular attention to edges and corners. Apply an even coat of finish in accordance with your finish manufacturer's instructions. Allow to dry completely. Lightly abrade with screen to break the surface tension for bonding with the next coat. Do not use steel wool if applying a water-based urethane finish product. Vacuum, then double tack rag the floor. Subsequent coats should be applied in accordance with the finish manufacturer's specifications. Do not abrade the final coat of finish. After applying the final coat, do not use the floor until the finish manufacturer's recommended cure time has elapsed. Avoid heavy traffic on the floor surface for at least 1 week. Note: during finishing and drying time, the floor surface must be free of dust and dirt. Avoid air currents that carry dust and dirt. Indoor temperatures and all sealers, paints, and finishes should be approximately 65 degrees Fahrenheit or higher during application. Allow adequate ventilation for proper drying. Maintain normal humidity conditions inside the facility to avoid blistering, flaking, and abnormally long drying and cure times. Always keep the floor free of dust, dirt, abrasive particles, and debris. Never use water to clean the floor, and never use dust mops treated with silicone, wax, or acrylic-based products. The floor finish manufacturer has dust mop treatments specifically designed for compatibility with the finish used on the maple floor. MFMA has published information on daily, weekly, periodic, and annual maintenance that is available to architects, specifiers, and facility owners and managers at no charge. This will enable you to determine how the floor will be cared for and extend the life cycle of the floor. Although synthetic floors are not the preferred sports floor surface for basketball, there are many applications where a combination system or a synthetic floor is a great option. A few of the benefits of synthetic floors include: some options can be approved for indoor sports, including sports with spikes and wheels. High contrast colors. hygienic and easy to clean, quick and easy to resurface, multi-purpose friendly, options with shock absorption properties, lead and green options, and heavy load and point load tolerance. Synthetic sports floors differ from northern maple in several ways. However, one key difference is that they are typically point elastic as opposed to area elastic. This means that synthetics deform and respond to impact, a footfall for example, in a more localized area than area elastic floors. A majority of hardwood sports floors are area elastic. Synthetic sports floors also tend to be more uniform in response to athletes, with very little deviation in performance from one area of the floor to another. These general characteristics aside, synthetics vary according to type and application. Pad and pour polyurethane is a tough and durable surface for sports and can withstand heavy loads. The primary distinction associated with pad and pour polyurethane is that it is seamless. Layers of pour sealer, wear coat, and pigmented top coat are poured over an underlayment of rubber, creating a monolithic surface without visible seams. Recycled rubber is a practical floor that works well for weight rooms or other training facilities. Like pad and pour polyurethane, recycled rubber flooring is tough. It makes a good surface for weight rooms and exercise areas, providing durability and a degree of slip resistance. However, it typically does not offer any significant amount of shock absorption. This means that, although it exhibits some of the characteristics of sports flooring, recycled rubber is not necessarily a sports floor, as defined by the ASTM F2772 standard. For example, it would be misused in an area such as a basketball or volleyball court. Vinyl has good shock absorption and is comfortable for athletes, but works best in a multi-purpose area and is easy to clean. Vinyl is an increasingly popular multi-use sports surface, particularly for schools with multi-use gyms. On average, it offers shock absorption values that are higher than other synthetic sports floors, however, slightly less than some high-end hardwood systems. Its advantages come from its ability to provide a workable balance between sports performance properties and multi-use practicality. They are also available in a wide variety of colors, including patterns that mimic a wooden surface. Vulcanized rubber is durable, and it can take very heavy point loads, which makes it ideal for weight rooms and running tracks. Vulcanized rubber differs from recycled rubber in that it is composed of two distinct layers. The top layer usually consists of pigmented virgin rubber, while the base layer is comprised of more recycled content. The two layers are fused together using extremely high temperatures, making them virtually inseparable. The most distinctive property of vulcanized rubber is its high energy return. This characteristic imparts good ball rebound and, given the right surface texture, makes an ideal surface for indoor tennis or weight rooms. Much like pad and pour polyurethane, vulcanized rubber is extremely durable. It can accommodate heavy equipment and even occasional vehicle traffic if necessary. However, rubber surfaces are typically more difficult to clean and maintain and do not provide much shock absorption. Start your specification decisions by asking questions. Who will be using this floor? What activities will be performed on the surface? How often will the facility be used in an average year? Is the installation below grade, on grade, or above grade? Will the facility be used for special events, as a cafeteria, or as a community gathering place? Answers to these and other questions will help you to eliminate synthetic surfaces that may be inappropriate for your project. The project architect or specifier should furnish game line drawings with complete color selections prior to the start of the synthetic floor installation. Apply game markings using paint that is recommended by the synthetic floor supplier. Mask the game lines using approved high-quality masking tape and paint game lines with proper colors according to the architect's or specifier's blueprints and with the aid of precision taping machines or striping tools. Pull masking tape up as soon as the paint begins to dry or set. For pad and pour polyurethane and vinyl synthetic floors, dust mop as needed to remove the dry grit and other abrasives. It is best to use dust mop heads that do not require a treatment, as treatments often leave a residue. For further dirt and grit removal, the floor should be damp tacked daily using a white cotton towel, damp but not wet, on the floor instead of the dry dust mop head, repeating the same procedure. Rinse the towel every few passes or as needed. For added effectiveness, use a neutral floor cleaner with a pH of 7.0 to 7.5 in your tack solution. Wet mop any spills and/or vacuum any large amounts of dirt or dust as soon as possible. General cleaning on recycled rubber floors can be accomplished with a damp mop and a mild detergent on a regular basis. Vulcanized sheet rubber floors should be thoroughly vacuumed to remove all loose dirt and debris. Follow the manufacturer's recommendations as it relates to the use of auto scrubbing machines and cleaning detergents. The Accredited Installer, or AI program, improves installers' competencies in the installation of MFMA sports flooring systems and provides architects, construction specifiers, and end users with information to make informed choices about the selection of qualified installers and installation companies. Regardless of the installation you select, for quality assurance, specify that the flooring contractor shall be an MFMA mill-accredited installation company with MFMA accredited installers on site for the duration of the floor installation on your next project. There are many questions to ask and many considerations for the selection of a sports floor. We hope this information will allow you to make the best selection for each facility and allow for the end users to enjoy their sports surface for many years to come. MFMA is here as a resource, and we encourage you to visit our website or call for additional information, questions on specifications, installation, or care of MFMA sports flooring.